Hi, everybody. Mary Mercurio here. And for my final project, I decided to look into how Google can be used and the Google extensions can be used in the art classroom. So I teach middle school art, so sixth through eighth grade, and I work for the Syracuse City School District, so it's a pretty large district. Ever since the pandemic, I have noticed that a lot of the students kind of, for a lack of better words, missed opportunities when it came to specials and the fine arts. And I'm trying to, in my own little way, catch them up a little bit and get them engaged and really give them an opportunity to see how computers and computer platforms and computer programs are being used in art and how they are kind of holistically all working together. So I chose Google. Number one, because a lot of our students have used the Google sites and extensions and such prior. So they had that base knowledge, but also because Google is it has a wide array of opportunities, and it's pretty user friendly, and I thought it was just a pretty decent baseline to start my digital art unit. So this what I'm going to show you is the site that I made for the 6th through 8th grade students, and this was basically the baseline of where they were going to start. After this, they went into their own different digital art projects, but I really liked introduction of using just Google in the art classroom. So I made this site, um, and if you look at it, it's this is made for what the students see. So it's up here, computers and art introduction, online art intro using Google in the art classroom. So it just explains to them where we're going to be, what they're going to use. And then I put these little sections in here where they are going to go on their own. It's asynchronous learning, and they're going to have the opportunity to check out different Google experiments, is what they call them. So to start, we went into the Google Drive, and I received all their Gmail passwords just so we can have just some sort of baseline. Because again, even my sixth grade students really haven't had a full experience in school since third grade. So we're looking at, where they're missing a big chunk in there. And then next, the students were able to go to the Google Arts and Culture experiments, and um, they had to try a minimum of one. And the reason I did that is because some of them are super long, and again, time restraint, being such a big school, we're only allowed the computer lab so many classes in a row, and I really wanted them to focus on the next part of their unit. So this was only a 2-day little mini introduction. So Google Arts and Culture experiments, they were able to go on there, and there's all different they call them experiments. Some are based in science, some are based in the arts, some are based in historical aspects, and they had a lot of fun using those. Then I created, they call it a Google Earth project, where I put together a bunch of street art, local street art from the city of Syracuse, and the students were able to kind of hop all around the map and check out art, and which was nice because it related to them a lot. And many of them had said to me, oh, I saw this when I was taking the bus this morning. So that was a great way to relate to them. Next, I have AI drawing, and it's called AutoDraw, and it's kind of experimenting with how artificial intelligence is utilized in the art world. And they had a lot of fun with this because you go on and you draw. If you haven't experimented with this yet, you really should try it out. You're able to go on and draw, and just it gives you guesses on what you might be making. Because honestly, drawing online and drawing on a computer can be pretty tough. And with middle school, you really want to keep them feeling successful, especially with arts, because the motivation can decrease very, very quickly. The Google Slides was what we were going to. was what we used. For the next section, they were able to go on and just use Google Slides to easily manipulate different images. Um, and then on here are the Google Art Games, which is a subdivision of the Google Arts and Culture Experiments. So the students had two classes, and the first class I was on the smartboard and I showed them each of them and how they work and introduced everything and how to use it. And then they had, their 45-minute class the first day and then the 45-minute class the second day to just really manipulate through all of these things and figure out which ones they really enjoyed. And they could spend, if somebody liked a certain experiment, they could go in and try it again. And like Google Arts Games, there's one called Blob Opera, and the kids just really thought that was, I mean, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, they all really seem to enjoy that one a lot. It's integrating art and music, and it's actually pretty funny. So after they completed all of this, they were able to go on and complete a Google form assessment. This was part of their classwork grade. So, I have their grades all divided up, and they get 5 classwork grades for their semester. This was one of them. So when they clicked on the Google form link, it brought them to that, and then they had to fill it out and submit that in order to receive a grade for this mini unit. And then to end all of it, I put their I can statements. So these are just kind of their guidelines to where the project is going and what my expectations are for them. So, I can discover Google Arts and Culture. I can play games. I can use Google Earth. So this was, where I put my expectations as the teacher for them for this learning experiment. And I actually did this with my 6th through 8th graders, and it was fairly successful. They had a lot of fun using this. I didn't have many students that had any difficulties using most of the Google programs. When we moved into the next section of the unit, they already had the basis of how to create Google Slides. So I'm glad I kind of put that in as one of the components for learning for this. And it was just a fun introductory way to show all the different ways to use Google, which, we all kind of go on here, and I feel like I don't know somebody who doesn't use Google, so I wanted to have that universal component for them. I would do this again. I will do this again. The only thing I would change is now that I know where they are and have introduced this, I would scaffold this much more for each grade level. So for my 6th graders, I would and 7th graders, for next year, I would use this again, but make it a little bit more impact on it. So, yeah, so this is my site. I'll share the site on Moodle. And this is what I used for my digital art intro for using Google platform art processes to engage students for the introductory unit. So thank you for watching. Thank you for a great class this year. And I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful summer. Bye.